How's it going? Welcome back. So carrying on with the sort of number plate, number board headlight type thing. And so yeah, got kind of close last time to where I wanted it. As I say, it's all kind of making it up as I go along. It was just a spur of the moment thing. This is just over a couple of days in the shed, and yeah, so that was a bit annoying on where the hole cutter. It's getting late in the day and I kind of slipped with the hole cutter because I was kind of touching it down and it kind of caught and jumped, and yeah, kind of distorted the hole. So yeah, you know, these things happen. So so I've got quite a few of these plates, so there we go. I've marked out another one. This one I've gone straight up and just using that as the top edge now, because I think after I made the last one and had a kind of a happy cock up, if you like, by not taking into account the bend radius, I actually prefer it with it flattened off at the top. There will be a top support, but yeah, I am not. I've got a rough idea where it might go, but I'm just winging it really at the moment. So yeah, so let's get back to it. I'm trying to work out whether or not I want to, if I should do the hole saw first. Now I've picked myself up a little metal brake, so because I do a lot of bending of metals and I do it all on the workbench or in the vise and just brute force it. So it's nice to have a bit more control over it with the brake. So I think I might be able to get away with cutting the hole out and then bending it on the brake without any distortion that I had the first time around the hole. So yeah, stop waffling, let's crack on.
Announced, and the claims guys will conduct a thorough and free check to discover if you...
So we're cut out, sanded, rounded and ready to bend. So we've got further in terms of the cutouts than we did last time. We could still cock it all up, or I could with the bends, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. So there we go, the bends are in. Pretty level. Yep. So so far so good. So I think probably try and work out how far in I need to chop this tab down to mount it. I'll mount it off the where a bottom mount headlight normally would go. Yeah, and just have a little look. Okay, so I used the trashed one just to play around with where I was sticking the hole, and just a sacrificial play around bit. And there we go. So that's the one proper. The headlight's just sort of stuck in there at the moment, so I'm gonna just notch out a little bit here, just a little bit for the speedo, just so it can sit in a bit tighter. Enough room there for a plug on the back, and then we're gonna, so that's really about as far as I can get away with it sitting off with that headlamp in there. So I'm just, yeah, kind of working it out. Do I like it? Might stick some holes in. But yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just a bit of fun to be playing around with. At the moment it's a little bit too boxy. There'll be some paint on it as well. But not entirely sure if I like it as much as just a classic headlight. We'll see. Okay, so this is where it all changes a little bit. So I was pretty much dead set on this this number board headlight mask thing, whatever, and I still kind of am, but I don't know, things are going off in different tangents as I was going along making this up. As I say, the whole idea is just kind of a bit of a spur of a moment thing. So anyway, so I had that other little light that was going to go in there, and it's got some nice mounting points on it, but it's kind of all a bit exposed. I mean, I'm going through all sorts of ideas. I was thinking about getting a sink plunger, like one of those blacked, almost looks like a fork gator type job, to go over the back to kind of weatherproof it, and all kinds of stuff like this. And it all starts getting a little bit overcomplicated. But the one thing I was conscious of, I wanted to try and get it a bit closer to the headstock, get it tucked in as close as I can. So I was thinking I need something a bit more low profile, maybe something a bit more heavy duty. So I had it on just a little bit of a browse on the old internet, and then I ended up getting one of these things, one of the Daymaker LED headlight things. It's pretty low profile. You can kind of get that mashed in. Now I've plugged it in and tried it out. I would do it now, but I've got to get the wiring out of the other headlight bucket, which means unscrewing it all, and so yeah, bit push for time to do that. But it's really bright. It is actually really good, and just like on holding it, it's all aluminium. It's not going to rust. It seems to be pretty well made actually, and the only downside is, of course, with all these sort of things that probably come from overseas, the picture that I saw on the heatsink on the back here for the LED, there was a bit more of a solid block here, and there was a hole going all the way through it, and I thought, brilliant, that's just a bottom mounting block, so that's going to be perfect. I'm going to be able to just bolt that on and you know, just make a little mount, and that's perfect then, and then I can pivot it, get the angle just right. I'd have to get a bigger hole saw, because that is I mean, that will fit in there that way, like that, which kind of could work, but then obviously you've got no tilt. I'd have to work something out. Yeah, so it was all getting a little bit complicated. Anyway, this one came, and yeah, hasn't got the mounting points, so I was like, oh, I'm going to have to think of another one, maybe cut out another ring that I can put behind there that mounts the plate. All starting to get a little bit complicated really for something that was just a sort of on the spur kind of thing to do in the garage. All through this, the meantime as well, I'm still thinking about the hardtail headlight, and so I'm justifying getting these bits and bobs, going, oh, that might work on this, that might work on that, and it's always handy to have crap like this knocking around. Anyway, so there's some other hardtail possibilities with the lights, but I'm going to cover that on a hardtail video. This is still an America video. And then while I was looking at the bike, as it is, let me as I'm looking at the bike like that, I don't know why it took me, but I was just like, I've changed my mind completely. I really want a small, square or rectangular headlight. I love the triangular type headlights, and that was one that I was thinking of, but most of those come in like they're just the pressed metal jobs and they're going to rust, blah 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 blah. You know, headlights don't seem to last me through a winter, so I thought I want a rectangle headlight, quite a small one, that's preferably not going to rust. I'm even still at this point, I'm thinking maybe modify the headlight mask to take a rectangle headlight. But anyway, so I'm looking around again, and that's when oh no, here we go. I find this little bad boy. Is a little Shinyo. So actually we've come full circle back to the same make of light that the initial round one was. Pretty small, you know. It's a H4 bulb in there, so certainly bright enough for what I'm used to. It's a side mount, but I'd want to bottom mount that. So there's a bit of bracketry fun. ABS housing, so you know, pretty rust free, and kind of bizarre. I said on the last video, I think that was the seat fail video, that it could be a love it or hate it job, and I don't know, it just kind of seems a bit bizarre going. I didn't think I'd go for a, try and get this to balance in here, go for a square headlight. Ooh. But I'm kind of liking it. I think I'm going to go with the square headlight. Pretty low profile. As I said, I'm thinking I might even incorporate the headlight mask around it, possibly. Just leave that balance there. Please don't fall off and break. So obviously I'll try and mount it not that wonky, but I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be about there like that. And yeah, it might not be to everyone's taste, but I'm pretty taken with that. So yeah, I'm going to make up a little like U-shaped bracket, I think, so I can still bottom mount it. I don't really want to. One, I don't want to put headlight ears, you know, headlight brackets on here. Two, at the moment, I can't be bothered taking off this self-amalgamating tape that I stuck on for a laugh, because it's just too much pain. So yeah, so I just need to make the bracket and put that on, and then I might think about doing that headlight mask, which I'm kind of keen on. I'm liking the way that was going, so I kind of want to work. So, but this setup, it can either stand alone or I can put the mask around it. One little thing I want to do, because I'm a little, probably a little hipster boy at heart. I do like a yellow lens, so I've got myself some of this yellow lens cover stuff that I'll probably put on that as well. But yeah, that's the way I'm going. This kind of ticks all my boxes for for what I want. You know, it's a reasonable bulb. I can change it. This one, I love this one. I'll tell you about some plans I've got for that in a minute. It's great, but as I said, at night it's shit. The bulb itself is a weird, I don't even know what kind it is. I mean, you got the old style, oh, what are they called, MPFs or something like that. Well, I've got one over there. Let's have a look. Which I thought it might be, because there's the Easy Riders Japan one, the headlight, which I originally got for the hardtail, but I don't know that I'm going to use this now. It's a bit too modern-y looking for what I want. Flipping it, come on. Jesus. So you've got hang on. There we go. See that old kind of little round bulb style. So you got that. I thought that's what would be in that one, but it's not. It looks like kind of like a little halogen one. It's all sealed and you can't change it. So if that goes, that goes. If you're on the side of the road as well, pitch black, which undoubtedly I would be, I'm not going to be able to change that. It's going to be stuck as it is. So I'm jumping a bit, but I'm thinking that one I then picked up as well. This was like 15 quid. So this is a little aluminium yellow headlight one that I've had for a while, and I guess because it's quite a common looking one of these little small, what is it, 4.5 inch headlight. I've not really used it, but then I was thinking, oh, maybe it will go on the hardtail. I'm actually not minding it too much. But then I did wonder if I could maybe butcher that one, because I love that one. Put the lens in there. It's a H4 bulb in here. I'd have to maybe drill out the back of that and have a kind of, yeah, it's a bit complex, but I might look into that for the next hardtail video, or one of the hardtail videos anyway. But I digress. That's not what this video is about. Just playing around with my square headlight. So yeah, I think it's going to be Marmite. I think people may love it or hate it, but so I'm going to go with. So I'm going to work on getting it mounted on its own first on there, and then start looking at the headlight mask. It may be that I keep it mounted, make a little, like a weird little U bracket underneath, and then I'm just going to have the number board type plate thing around it, or I might utilise the side mount holes and make little L-shaped tabs, which then mean it can go straight onto that. Well, not that one, because I'll have to make another one. But yeah, we'll see. But let's concentrate on getting this mounted as a bottom mount, as it is, and get my little trendy boy yellow lens on there. Right, so brackets for the love it or hate it rectangle headlight. I start off spending up some alley, making some little brackets. I was going to mount on the bottom mount kind of point, and then the headlight was going to go in there. Obviously would look a bit more refined than this, but then I just thought that was a bit crappy, and I kind of wanted to try and persevere with the headlight mask, because that's what I started doing with this. So I chopped out another one, kind of offered it all up, and yeah, it's just not yanking me crank at all. Yeah, you know, I've tried now twice on this. I kind of, when I start seeing that as I'm making it, I'm liking it, and then but just up on the bike it's not really doing it for me. So then I was like, right, okay, back to the brackets. So this is what I came up with. So obviously I've spent a lot of time making headlight masks and brackets that I'm working out, so I'm getting a little bit bored, a little bit frustrated, just want to get it done. So I had to root through the all the scrap bits and brackets I've got, and these are I think they're British custom stainless steel indicator relocation brackets for the Speedmaster in America. Obviously I've got my little strip LEDs on there now, so I'm not using these at the moment, and I offered them up, and they kind of work out really well. They look a little bit quirky, but I think they're quite nice. So that's when it got a little bit more complicated, because I'm thinking I need to make another little bracket up, but then I don't want too many brackets because it just ends up looking a bit of a pig's ear. That's why I looked for something that was a bit more purpose made, and now I'm at this stage because I've decided one of the jobs I've got to do kind of off camera is change the forecoil out. That's been a long time since I've done that on these, and I'm going to give the bike a service anyway, but I'm not going to film that. But I was looking at this and where to mount it, so I want it low down in there, and as luck would have it, the actual mounting bracket holes on the underneath those there and there are the exact same space across for that, so that can bolt straight to the yoke. So what I've had to do, this is kind of what pushed me to start doing the forks, because I needed to drill up through, so those they don't go all the way through. There's a tiny amount of aluminium, not much, maybe 5mm or something between that and the top of the yoke. So I've drilled up through my yoke. Obviously that's why I wanted everything out of the way, so I could get nice and straight in there. And then I'm just going to focus. Are you going to focus? Probably not. But I've tapped the holes, so that's going to just bolt straight on there. And yeah, easy peasy. Okay, so just quickly, I'm trying to blast through all this because I've changed so much at the moment that I don't know how long this video is going to end up being. But yeah, is pretty easy for this. I haven't had to take the bottom yoke off because the holes are already drilled almost all the way through and tapped half the way, so all I've got to do is just follow that with a drill bit, very little chance of wandering, and then just gently pick up the thread with a tap, and again, because that's already there, not an awful lot of chance of going crooked. Just at the moment, just following the existing thread. You can see how far up that is. Okay, there we go. Alright. Happy days. I mean, I could have just had a hole just drilled straight through and not really worried about the threads, but you know, as it's easy enough to do, might as well keep the threads in there, and if I am really worried, I'll just whack a nut on the underneath. But yeah, awesome. There we go then, headlights on. I'm a long way round to get to this point, but maybe that was half the fun. I quite like the journey, and I don't think if I hadn't been tinkering around I would have really thought about a square headlight or rectangular, but I really like it. I know some people might not, but I think it's a bit unusual. Don't really see, I haven't seen any America Speedmasters with a square headlight. I could be wrong, I haven't really looked, but could be a good reason for that, you may argue. But no, I think it's pretty funky, a little bit unusual. I'm thinking it should provide me with a touch more light. So happy days, really. There we go. Yeah, a bit of a roundabout way to get to something I wasn't even intending on doing, or having it look that way, but maybe I had to take that journey just to get there. So I don't think the rectangle light's going to be to everyone's tastes, but I really like it, and that's the most important thing in it. And it throws out a lot of light as well, which is kind of what the whole point of this was. Should last me a bit longer than a few months through a salty winter. Stainless steel brackets, and I mean, it's a plastic headlight. Maybe I'll look at possibly in the future rehousing it in a metal, well, yeah, an aluminium box or something like that, you know, retain that rectangle but just make something a bit more pleasing to look at. That might be a fun little project, but that's something way later down the line. Got to really just concentrate on the hardtail stuff at the moment, which, yeah, just pains me how little progress I've made on that. So I'm hoping to remedy that as well. But yeah, that's it. Another little job ticked off on the America. I just wanted to get out of the way. The tank as well. I'm just deciding what I'm going to do. There's a powder coaters pretty much on my commute from home to work, which I'm going to call into and see. I mean, I've heard you can clear powder coat, which might be interesting. That'd be a bit more of a durable finish perhaps to do on it. Maybe I'll powder coat it actually a solid colour, you know. I do like the bare metal, but I don't know, maybe go for a completely different colour, something a little bit wild, a little bit sparkly maybe, I don't know. I'm just kind of making up my mind at the moment, and obviously costs will be a factor as well. Don't want to go too crazy. But yeah, we'll see. But that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching, take it easy, see you next time.